Yo, what's up guys? So we're here to showcase off a new build for Insect Link deck variants. Now, this does utilize the Danger Engine. The first play is going to be heavy with the Danger Engine, but there's multiple ways to play kind of without all of those. You can special some monsters by other ways, but Multiplication of Ants, if you guys didn't know, this card's a $3 common, and it does give you tokens that have to be at level 4 and their Earth, so that's an easy Naturia beast. But as you guys will see here with the gameplay, you can do a lot more, even if you don't happen to have a bunch of the dangers in the deck. Because I know there are people that don't really have the dangers, or maybe just don't like danger deck variants. But it's really utilizing that new ban list, because the last Insect Link deck that I uploaded, you guys loved it. But it did kind of rely off of the Summon Sorceress, and well, we don't have that anymore. But we're going to go ahead and utilize the Guard Dragon, and then go straight into the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. We've also got Savage Dragon with 2 counters on it. And then we've also got Naturia Beast, and we've got the Heavenly Sphere. So basically we're looking at 3 negations, plus we have Naturia Beast to negate all of the other things. And his opponent's not going to really be able to do anything. You make this against most decks, and you will be winning the game. But like I said, I have a few different plays to showcase off. And this one's going to be against the Thunders. But he's going to go ahead and go for a board. He's going to go ahead and reborn that young vanilla going into Pico Fulania. The Multiplication of Ants is just such a fantastic card for this archetype. Because it gives you not only tokens, but again, they're level 4, which most tokens that you'll get in Yu-Gi-Oh! They're always like level 1, right? But Multiplication of Ants, great card. But like I said, Phantasmate is here. We've got the equal max of 6k attack. This was maybe the second turn we'd be able to just OTK real easy. I mean, this deck can OTK very easy. Doomdozer happens to have 2800 attack. You can also go into Titanic with him because he happens to be a level 8. But the Savage Dragon is once again here, and then we're going to go ahead and proc Miko's effect and summon the World Chalice Guard Dragon. And that's going to go ahead once again go into the same combo. A lot of the combos will be kind of similar, where you're going to be able to make a Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, also making Savage Dragon. Is pretty key here, and then of course with this you have the bounce back. So he's going to go ahead and summon Batterman, send a card to the grave. I'm going for Avon's effect, but that's going to go ahead and get stopped courtesy of Savage Dragon. He's going to go ahead and Allure. He unfortunately doesn't draw into anything, so he's going very minus, but Heavenly Sphere is going to bounce back the fusion. He activates Thunder Dragon Fusion, that gets stopped, but he's going to go for Instant Fusion, which I think is a bad play. B-Goat, I think you should have, of course, went for Millennium Eyes Restrict first, and then maybe try to go for something else, and forcing your opponent to, of course, negate the card effects, because it is a quick effect. So it's kind of a bad order of things. But again, a lot of times you're going to be ending up with multiple negations on the board. This one's kind of a blowout, just instant win against this incantation deck, because the guy's just like, dude, I don't even want to play. Galaxy Worm, surprisingly, is a insect, just like the previous builds that I have been going over with the new 2019 insect builds. But yeah, Pico Fulania, great card. I mean, really no one's utilizing this in Insectors because, well, they haven't gotten any buffs. I really feel like they should have buffed Insectors on the ban list. That and I think the Ritual Beast. But once again, going into the Savage Dragon, and then of course Miko gonna go ahead and bring back the World Chalice Guard Dragon, obviously going straight into the Pisty, and then go right into a Garpain. Then you get your Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, and he's like, dude, I want none of this. And we still had negation, of course, for any potential hand traps. Obviously, this card can be bad if you're playing dangers, but you obviously just set it at that point, and usually your opponent usually goes minus if you're using the dangers. But anyways, thanks to my boy Gyros for this deck as well as the replays. Let's go ahead and hop into the deck profile in case any of you guys do want to play it. There was one card that I did want to mention. We did not make number 38, which is the Titanic Galaxy, but this is just a really important card as well. It lets you, when a spell or effect is active, it's just another one of those negate anything cards, and it's really easy to make. In one instance, we did end the board with like Doomdozer, plus a few of the other monsters, but if you happen to have like extra Doomdozer, then at that point just make this. But anyways, onwards with the deck profile. So first off, we got 2 copies of the YGOPRO, and then we have 3 copies of Doomdozer, and then we have 3 copies of Nessie, 3 copies of Mothman, because Mothman happens to be insect, and then we got the Chupacabra, we have Snake Boy, and 3 copies of the Jackalope, and then we have 2 copies of the Resonance Insect, 3 copies of the Galaxy Worm, 2 copies of the YGOPRO, and we have 2 copies of the Jet Synchron, 1 of the World Chalice, Guard Dragon, because you're just going to recycle it. Now, we do happen to have 2 copies of Glow Bulb. That's just for consistency, because there's so many duels, like, especially since Sky Strikers are still viable. I mean, you make Nat Beast, easy claps, man. And then we've got 1-for-1, the multiplication of Atzant 3. We only saw one video where he actually used it, but, like, this card is just so broken over here. You just tribute one, and you get double tokens, and they have to be level 4. They can't be used for a tribute summon, but you're not going to be doing that in 2019, right? Anyways, we got Reasoning, Card Destruction, and Foolish Barrel. Like, opening up these is just all is huge. And then, of course, Reborn's great as well. And then you inherit for, of course, Miko. And then 3 copies of the Called by the Grave to stop any of the hand traps. And then for the extra deck, of course, Hot Red Dragon, Arching Abyss, very important. The Savage Dragon, very important. Naturia Beast and Miko, all very important. This card, I would also argue that this card's very important. We didn't really make this. It is an option. It's because you can get free extra cards, of course, off of the Goki pool. You can just go ahead and get that out. And usually you'll end up using it because it's level 4 Earth, for, of course, Nat Beast. But you can still utilize it for other things like Ring Force. But this is supposed to be like a lockdown deck. And then, of course, Astrum, because against certain matchups, you make this, and it can be very difficult for them to deal with it. Then we have Star Uja, then we got the Archlord Paladin, of course, Phoenix, Agarpain, and then we've got the Picofilenia, Heroic Seal of Celestial Spheres, and then we got Pisty, and of course the Link Spider. But that is it for the deck profile, guys. Like I said, we should move all the important cards down here. So one of these is definitely great for stepping stone, but there is room for swapping things, and I feel like this card is kind of great. But if you want to, you can maybe swap in and out like the last 2 cards. But I would say you can even run Boiler Load. That definitely helps out with the OTKs. But again, with Doom Dozer, you're going to be able to pull it off quite easy. But anyways, thanks again to my boy Euros. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this new updated Insect deck. Kind of interesting to see that people are still like utilizing some of the older Yu-Gi-Oh cards. This card, dang, brings back old times, man. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on new Yu-Gi-Oh content. And if you guys got any cool replays of weird and interesting stuff, feel free to send it to AzneyesReplays@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, and peace.